Scotia's EMO asked to use the hall as a registration centre for residents of Portapique who had fled their homes.
For residents of Portapique who had fled their homes.
An RCMP officer was posted here in a cruiser. By this time, police were on the hunt for the shooter, who they knew was impersonating a police officer. At 10:30 a.m., 2 RCMP officers fired multiple shots outside the hall. Sources have told CTV News the officers thought they were firing at the suspect when it was in fact a fellow Mountie.
This program is brought to you in part by...
Why don't you get yourself some turned-down collars, Poirot? They're much more the thing, you know.
The thing, Hastings? Do you think Poirot concerns himself with mere thingness?
No. No, I see that.
The turned-down collar is the first symptom of decay of the grey cells.
You know, I just think if people keep pushing, I can't, first of all, thank enough all of the hard work. There's 3 fellow YouTubers who are working very, very hard with me on this one. Rage in the Cage, Steve LTT, and Just My Stupid Opinion. Just plugging them, sorry. But they are fantastic guys, really been busting their humps here. And, you know, stepping up to the plate, because there's a certain amount of risk saying certain things. And also, likewise, all of the people who are volunteering information and time, which is, like I said, over on the Discord or sending me anonymously information, it is fantastic.
All right. Have I got audio here? I hope so. Please let me know if I've got audio. Audio working. Having a lot of difficulties. Somebody can let me know. At least the audio is working. Get into some of the difficulties. Mark, Blue Nose. Is the audio working? Audio is working. Okay. Camera not working. How interesting. Works with other things, not working with StreamYards. I'm getting a lot of difficulty right now. But I wanted to bring certain things to your attention that I've become aware of in the last little while. So now, let's start off with Blue Nose, Alex, Cheryl, Mark. Awesome. How are you guys doing? How's the New Year's? Now, how far will they go? Oh, they're going far. I'll tell you that. How do I start this? All right. So, any of you remember Clinton and the secret servers? The secret servers? You guys remember that stuff? Yes. Okay, good. Because got to have a little bit of foundation for the secret servers. That's kind of a good start. So, of course, the secret servers that they were using, Clinton was using, was hiding information, right? Now, let's see if I can get some stuff. Why don't we start with a video that came out recently. It was Corporal Derp, Steve LTT, Glenn, Lynn. Awesome to have you here, Steve. Many technical difficulties. We'll have a conversation, sir. Ozzy, no picture. No, I don't know. Maybe God didn't want my hair shown. Somehow it's not showing. Now, let's go forward. Chai tea. So, of course, we don't have much information being released. What do we have? We have the fighting of warrants. We're fighting ourselves in court. Our own employees are fighting us to keep information from us about many details. The suppression, the redactions, the use of the... I can't use the prop now because it doesn't work. But the use of the Sharpies, then it went to the whiteout pages, the removal of judges who weren't favorable to RCMP cause, and bulletins getting destroyed. Let's listen to Corporal Derb here.
The bulletin was authored by Truro Police Service. The individual concerned, the gunman in the April 18th, 19th incidents, resided, his sort of principal residence at the time was in Dartmouth. So that led the investigation of the tip to Halifax Regional Police. They followed up with that. They made us aware that there was some information pertaining to the Portapique residence that the gunman owned at the time. And I can't speak exactly about what we did or didn't do with the information. I don't have that information because, like I said, the bulletin has been purged. I can also say about pieces of information like that, like crime bulletins or officer safety bulletins, we get those routinely, daily, even ones of a content that is being described about this particular bulletin. I can tell you that it's not out of the ordinary for us to receive something like that.
Media reports have raised questions regarding the level of communications between the RCMP and other Nova Scotia police agencies, as well as an apparent lack of requests from the RCMP to other Nova Scotia police agencies for assistance on April 18th and the 19th. There is detailed information that refutes these claims. I can confirm that the RCMP was in contact with other Nova Scotia police agencies several times throughout the incident, and that information was communicated to all Nova Scotia police agencies as it became known. These updates and communications originated from the risk manager in our operational communications center, the critical incident commander, from RCMP management, as well through members who were actually involved in the incident. Other Nova Scotia police agencies also contacted the RCMP directly for information, and the information was provided to those agencies in those cases as well. With respect to requests for assistance, other Nova Scotia police agencies were asked to assist the RCMP in a variety of ways, and in fact, they offered assistance as well. This included agreements by other Nova Scotia police agencies to cover calls for service in RCMP jurisdictions while our officers were occupied in the response, providing investigative assistance as well with priority witness interviews while the situation was unfolding, evacuating potential victims from residents known to the gunman, as well as providing lockdown security to an area hospital where some of the injured victims were being treated.
I can tell you when I was stationed in Vancouver Drugs, we get, and we often were called in, if we got information about an individual that had put threats out on either a member or police officers in general, the first thing we would do is a risk assessment. And on that risk assessment, you assess whether is this individual, does he have the capacity to carry out this threat? And obviously some of the things that you've mentioned, you do their background, what's their criminal past, have we had complaints in the past? I mean, if you were looked at all the red flags and actually had done that, it begs that a very in-depth investigation should have been carried out, because obviously this individual had the wherewithal. Obviously, I mean, without knowing all the facts, definitely an individual that's unbalanced in a lot of ways. And the fact that he had this arsenal of weapons should have immediately created an investigation to deal with it. And I think that's where, and I think that's what you're going to see in the in this hearings that are going to be coming up. I mean, there's a lot of answers that the RCMP is going to have to atone for. I mean, just to say that they overlooked it is unacceptable. I don't understand how it could be overlooked.
All right. So we had the business to do with that. Now I'm going to try and sew it together for you as best as possible. So again, remembering the fact about the Clinton business about the secret servers, okay, and the use of emails, etc. Now, what did we have a couple of weeks ago, a few weeks ago, the emergence of, many thanks to that anonymous person who stepped forward and sent me that information. I so much appreciate any information that people can provide. It just helps us a great deal. Now, that person stepped forward, emailed me some documents. The documents were, of course, the moratorium, which stopped the destruction of evidence to do with the Nova Scotia shootings. They kind of didn't answer anything to do with that, and eventually kind of poo-pooed it and said, well, this is just a normal course of business, and et cetera, et cetera. Now, you have that. The next part to this was an introduction of a document, which I read a long time back about, how am I going to get this up here? How do I do this? Wrong emails. Wrong emails. Where's my other emails? Of course, I don't have that window open. As always, I am totally distracted. Thank you. Now open. I've been having difficulties with my email, with my phone, with my camera. Almost like, do you remember that, Steve? Remember a while back? Certain messages from certain people also being erased off of my phone. I know this sounds crazy. It is 100% true, and I have proof. Now, let's go to this. Leo Knight. Okay? Leo Knight provided a document in here about the YVR tasing incident. There is a huge case going on to do with that. I won't get into that because that's a lot of stuff. But in amongst 295 pages of documents, let's see if I can get that up here. Give me one moment just so I know it's not doing something funny. Okay. Oh, go away. Whatever. This is a document that's submitted by Jerry Rundell, who's involved with the YVR suit. Oh, of course. Give me one moment, please. One moment, please. Oh, screw right off. Where is this? Is this on my secret server? Oh, no. I think, can I do it anyways off of here? Let's see. No, I don't believe. Oh, maybe I can. Page 17 on this document. Page 17. Let's fast forward. Yes, I could put the number in, I suppose. I believe it's 17 on here. Of course it's not. Thanks for that. Which 17 is it? Is it 17 on this document? This is a problem with stuff, eh? You never know where things are. Oh, no. Okay. I'll tell you what. I'll show you a screenshot of where it is. Give me one moment. And I can give you the link for that also because that's helpful, right? I'll read this to you. The existence of an O drive 23 On or about April 20th, I became informed that senior RCMP management maintained a secret computer drive categorized as an O drive. On April 30th, 2020, I submitted to RCMP Assistant Commissioner Eric Stubbs, an email message detailing the information, which was in part Exhibit R. Quote, I was informed by a reliable source that in February 2020 training program, a National Commanding Officer, NCO, acknowledged to a group of approximately 30 members that NCO and senior members of management utilized secure O drives on a computer network system to communicate covertly about employees. 24. Copied in my message to Stubbs was Shirley Heafy, formerly the chair of RCMP Public Complaints Commission. In response to my message to Stubbs, Heafy submitted to me a message detailing her knowledge of a secret RCMP senior management controlled computer drive, which stated in part as follows. So this is from the RCMP Complaints Commissioner. Quote, let's get that in big. So that we have. What you have said in this latest email message, secret O drive used by RCMP leadership has existed for a long time and continues to this day, no doubt. I inadvertently became aware of its existence, this drive used by leadership when I conducted an oversight of the RCMP for 10 years. I'm not sure if they called it O drive back when Zach, that's referring to Zach Araldi, who was 17 years ago, I think was when he retired. This is a long time they've had this, was commissioner, but it existed for sure. No surprise that the RCMP leadership has a way of hiding responsibility for its failures, as well as having a tool to harass members who may decide to expose leadership failures. So, are we hearing Clinton servers? You getting destruction of evidence, right? Up until, what was that, October? Let's have a look and make sure I've got that right. When was that first submitted? Thanks ever so much to this person. Love the great people. A moratorium on the destruction of information involving Gabriel Wortman pertaining to the investigation of the mass shooting, published October 15th. How many months did they have to, quote unquote, destroy evidence? I'm not saying that this happened. I just want to bring these things to your attention. Now, these are two pieces of information which I've introduced already, right? And have been discussed at length, in some case at least. The O drive has not been, and is important to note. They have a place to secretly stash information. What does that mean? When you submit an ATIP report, Access to Information Program report, you have a request. You want to request data about the RCMP on a certain event that transpired, something that happened down in Portapique. What happens is, if it goes onto the secret O drive, it doesn't exist. You follow me? Now, the third piece of information I became of very recently. I want to be very careful so I don't dox anybody here. I'm going to show you a screenshot. I've had to heavily redact this. I look like the RCMP just to protect. Oh, that's too bad. Okay. To protect this person's identity, and I hope that you will respect the fact of why I'm doing this. Now, this document is an email exchange. I have several email exchanges. This is a person that appears in the ITOs. This is a witness. When we have questions coming from the RCMP, they have to go through official channels, as in it has to be official RCMP email accounts that are being used. Remember Clinton and the Gmail accounts? Let's have a look. This is Fraser Firth questioning a witness, getting information from a witness. He's using a Gmail account. What does that mean? This information technically doesn't exist. It never has gone through official channels. You can never ATIP it. It more than likely won't happen to come up in the inquiry. It goes poof. This person provided evidence. How many people are being questioned? I've solicited a couple of people that I know that are on the ITOs, and to the best of my knowledge thus far, I have not encountered somebody else yet. Is this 100% for sure? For sure? No, but it's pretty strong. If you couple all of this together, we have a very serious situation. This is legally not allowed to happen. This person provided information, relevant information, to the investigation. Obviously, they were questioned in person, to which we get summaries of summaries written by Angela with her flowery language. But this is extremely serious. And hasn't come to public knowledge yet. And I think it's very important that it does. And I appreciate so much the person, the witness, who allowed this to come out, because I understand a lot of people are very, very afraid right now. Down in Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, of course, we had the alert. I was talking to a family member, not Tara. People often think I just talk to Tara. That's not just so. Wonderful. Wonderful. This person was out celebrating something which should have been a positive thing. An alert is going off that there is stuff happening. Now, there is a lot more to this, and I have garbage piles of information, but it is how to share it best and when. Strategy. This is an old story, to the best of my in the best conclusion that I can come to. This is a very old story. This is related to older events. There has been, how do I say this? I have to tread carefully on this one. Something happened to me to specifically identify me. A couple of people in here may know that. Steve does. Which involved something on a level I have never seen before technologically on the internet. And there were some interesting people mentioned in that. And those interesting people, funnily enough, again, go back time. We have to rewind because you're going to see a lot of the same names come up if you go backwards in the stories, the big stories in Nova Scotia's history, not just Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Quebec. And there is very, very tenuous at this point in time ties to BC on certain things. But I want you to help me to help get this out. This is extraordinarily serious. This is against the law. This is suppression of data on a level I've never seen before. And of course, we all know what happened down in the United States with the then presidential candidate, Hillary Clinton. And James Comey was quite clear that those secret servers, as in kind of O drive type stuff, right? The existence of the O drives, which the RCMP have had for decades now. This is confirmed in court papers. Hiding information. Do you think that they are hiding information anywhere else in this story? Is it just down in the YVR case, the tasing incident? Or do we have hiding, maybe there's some use of pens and legal procedures and white pages? Yes, of course there is. If this does pan out to be true, and I'm further researching it, and I do hope that other witnesses who have information or have communicated with the RCMP will come forward. Because perhaps they have communicated inadvertently, unknowingly, with the RCMP using Gmail accounts. Illegal. The emergence of this stuff keeps coming out. Let's look at two other examples. How they're taking everybody here for a ride. All of us. Fucking unbelievable. Let's go to Lori George. Lori George, Nova Scotia. All right, now let's use this handy tool here. Custom range will back it up because Lori George has appeared in the news quite a bit recently. And certain pictures appeared on the Discord server, not outdated, by the way, like somebody says. Let's just, I don't know, stick it here. End date. Let's go to global. Mercedes. There. Isn't that funny? Mercedes. Find. Lori. Lisa and Lori George, both residents of Portapique, said that at approximately 11 p.m. on Saturday, they saw flames nearby, eventually seeing three separate fires in the area. The couple said a large group of police quickly arrived in response, followed by gunshots before the RCMP told them to go home. Police provided updates throughout Sunday morning as they attempted to track Wortman. Officers stressed, and that's the end of Lori and Lisa George. What did they say? Oh, they said that they saw 3 fires. The couple said that a large group of police arrived quickly in response, followed by gunshots before RCMP told them to go home. This aired all over the world. We had it in The Guardian, over in the UK. Okay? Laurie George, same thing in here. Let's see, find. Lisa and Laurie George, both residents of Portapique, told Global News in Halifax. If you, I believe there is a dated article that has the picture. Oh, sorry, it's on the Tweeties. The Tweeties, if you go back to, who is that fellow? I think is it Brian Hill, maybe? Shows the actual interview, a picture of it. They were Skyping with them. Said that approximately 11 p.m. on Saturday, they saw flames nearby, eventually seeing 3 separate fires in the area. The couple said that a large group of police arrived quickly in response, followed by gunshots before the RCMP told them to go home. Okay. They just went down there, turned around. Is that really what happened? Let's see here. Let's fast forward. Let's remove this. RCMP theory on gunman changed. Escape scene of the killings changed. Let's see what happens. Fine. Laurie. Laurie George said he saw fires burning in his backyard. This is November now. November. Fast forward. In his backyard, went to investigate driving past the intersection of Highway 2 and Portapique Beach Road. He saw RCMP vehicles, but said he was not stopped by police initially. George took photos of the fire burning at what appears to be the gunman's cottage on its location and proximity of the water. The photos are time-stamped around 10:40, roughly 14 minutes after the first police arrived on the scene. George then drove back home approximately 5 minutes away and picked up his wife, he said. They tried to return to the scene of the fires, but this time the police turned them away near the turnoff of Portapique Beach Road. Well, that seems slightly different than what it was before. By the way, this picture was out, not this particular picture, thanks to great citizen investigators who I feel very lucky to be a part of over on the Discord, right? Provided that information. So why is it that suddenly Global is turning up new news when they did the interview April 19th? How many months later do we have new evidence coming forward? Is this the only case of that? Media-controlled propaganda. Do you think that they knew this back then? You're fucking goddamn right they did. Global. Is Global the only one that does this? No. We've shown that many times. CBC, Clinton interview. Sadly, I can't show you my phone. They try to crop things after I say, look in the background, and you can see that the video is clipped. Oh, we'll make it so that it's actually not a 16:9, not a widescreen. It's actually like your phone. Like we just interviewed them with a phone. How many incarnations did you have of Clinton's interview? Remove information here, remove information there. How many times? Let's do the CBC. What was that with Darren Campbell? COVID. Elizabeth McMillan. There's Darren getting interviewed by solely Elizabeth. By the way, I know about your shenanigans too over there at CBC with your fifth estate. It's going to come. It's going to come. I'm trying to give people the benefit of the doubt. People can come forward, speak the truth, you know, and we'll save ourselves a lot of time. You want to play fuck around games? I'm going to blow you out of the water. We're going to blow you out of the water. And if you think for a moment that this group is going to let up, you're out of your mind. Never stop. Now, if you go down in this article, very bottom, you'll see that there is 6 months ago. Oh, this is interesting how they've done this now because they fixed it. Here's a nice little interview, one-on-one with Darren Campbell. Any of you remember, because I received an email from families, right? Family members that I speak with, thank God. Some of them speak to me, helps a great deal. I want to help them get the truth. That's all of my interest is. That's all your interest is. It's the only thing that matters here. Truth. And let's see, when did I do that? Go to channel. Oh, Steve has a new channel, by the way. Please go subscribe. I'll throw up his channel here. Oh, whatever. Some things are not people's cups of tea. Some people are. I don't want to ever divide things politically. But, you know, if Steve's your stuff, Steve's a great guy. I like his stuff, obviously. He's a friend of mine. So, and been very helpful. But he covers other things. Please go give him a watch. He's got, he gets harassed by YouTube. Funny that. Isn't it? How does that happen? I wonder, you know, it's a wonder that my channel stays. I don't know quite how that happens. Now, there was a 6-hour stream way back. You know why I did 6 hours that day? Because I was looking for what the RCMP told the family members was going to be a lengthy interview, quote unquote, maybe tonight, possibly by tomorrow. The lengthy interview never came, ever came. Where was that? I don't remember what I call things. Is it this one? 6 hours. 6 full hours. Well, unbelievable. And of course, they never came forward. But they did eventually. That was the funny thing. Down at the bottom of this article. But you can use a handy dandy thing and go back, because people archive stuff. I like to archive stuff. Please do make sure that you use a site like this, which they're getting a bit more finicky. Let's see here. I'll show you something neat. Let's just go through saved. You can save articles, right? And then you can go back to them later. So this came out, when was it? Probably June 29th, because I assume that's me archiving it like a tool. Oh, wait a second. Yep, June 29th. I don't want to use archive.org. I want to use archive.org. My apologies. Archive.org. Paranoia, gunman, blah, blah, blah. Sometime. It must be my slow internet, right? Oh, this is interesting. Am I having more technical difficulties? It's too bad I can't show you my camera, because then I could show you some interesting things that have been happening with my messages. What in the cook is happening here? Perhaps you guys want to try this on your own. I'll leave the email address down here. Doodaloo. Okay. You can search the different versions of it. And you'll see, I'm not going to waste your guys' time because I don't like to, even though I do tend to babble, right? You can see if you go down to this little spot here, where that video should appear, the lengthy interview, which was supposed to air on the news, but didn't. Just got inserted into the article, but when did it get inserted? That's the key. That's the key. Let's see, is it working yet? Failed status. Oh, right. Uh-huh. Let's try again. Oh, Seamus, you're just crazy. You think so? Oh, majorly, Glenn. Major. None of this is adding up. You get bagels. Of course you do. None of this is adding up. Look at my channel. My channel doesn't increase, though I know lots of more people watch. Likes get removed. People tell me they get unsubbed. Da-da-da-da-da. Goes on. Suppressed? Yeah. I was suppressed a long time ago from my older stuff. But this stuff took it to a whole new level. And one day, I do hope I can talk about the other piece. Because the other piece is way fucked. Which happened January 1st. And somehow my video got floated many places all over the world with many people, many people, many police officials. But if you check back then, you can cycle through this site and you will see. Let's see if it shows up on archive.is. So I believe this is the first issue of it. Oh, no video. No video. You'll see the video pop in and out. It's quite interesting. It's very interesting. They'll put the video in, they'll take the video out. They'll put the video in, they'll take the video out. I didn't even know that the video was out until somebody over on the Discord was like, hey, man, have you seen the interview with Darren Campbell? I'm like, what interview with Darren Campbell? Well, you know, the one that's in the article. I'm like, I went through the article live on air. Where was that? Or finally they speak? Some? Is this it? This was... there we go. And you'll see. This is from when? June 29th, right? Okay. This is days after that they promised the lengthy interview. And yet there's no video in it. You can go and look if you want. I'll leave the link. Hello, oh dear. Hello. You know, and it's not in there. The video isn't in there. And I was waiting. As were all the family members. And then suddenly they just kind of subtly slipped it in this article, but sometime later. Then they would take it out, then they would put it in. I don't know what the fuck they were doing with it, but you can see on the Wayback Machine, again, I left a link earlier for it. You can see, because it's been archived lots of times. Let's try again. Oh, here we go. Yay, working now. Funny that. Okay. I mean, you can go to, I don't know, pick a day. Sometimes it's in there, sometimes it's not. Crazy. July 14th. Let's try that. Just random. In, out, in, out. Sometimes in, sometimes out. Oh, Seamus, you're just crazy. No. Again, like I said, look at that video back here. Finally, they speak. Some, and there's no video in it. They inserted it subsequently, but they backdated it, and said, oh, it was there before, you know. Don't you know? You stupid plebes, you. Derp. Let's see if it's in here. Of course, because they have the picture, right? So you know that the interview was conducted. They just never decided to give it to us stupid plebes. Let's see if this one's got it. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. I'm just randomly picking. Oh, this one has it. You know, it depends. Sometimes it's there, sometimes not. I mean, what is that? They control the narrative. Because it's just a propaganda piece. Just like I showed you with the global piece, just the way, you know, Clinton and his edited, scrubbed stuff, just like One Tactical Unit, Macmillan. CBC changes that. Oh, yes, of course. It was never in there. Bullshit! Archived. Look at the original article. Wikipedia says it's there. So you click on the source. Oh, that article, it's not there. Maybe they've updated it now because I kept fucking bashing them about it. This is getting ridiculous, people. And if you throw in these factors that I'm presenting to you, and please, this is really serious. Really fucking serious. You've got the moratorium, part 1. Destruction of evidence possible, I'm not saying is, but possible, up until October 15th. Right? Then you have Gmail accounts being used by the RCMP to question witnesses. Not ATIP. You can't ATIP them. Oh, no. Doesn't exist. Using personal accounts. Sounds awful like Clinton. Sounds awful like Clinton. doesn't it? Remember? With the bleach bit and all that. I don't care. The politics system to me is a whole bunch of hoo-ha. We're all getting snowed. But this kind of shit is illegal. You'll never see any of this information. You have the construction of the abuse victim who can never be questioned. What was her name? The woman down in Halifax. Now, I'm not meaning to bash on her. I listen, I know abuse, sadly, female abuse from having to pick up the pieces. It's terrible. Any guy that does that to a woman, well, I'll go back with you. No problem. You're a big, tough guy. Let's see how tough you are. Now, you had the woman, Serene, no, not Serene, something, I forget her name. And she was an abuse victim who had reported to police and asked to be, was going to testify against her abuser. Fantastic. Let's put that scum away. Well, she has a bit of a problem. And, you know, I understand people have problems. We all do. And instead of going to court, she decided to get drunk. The media sewed that up as, well, she was psyching herself up to go to court. I mean, think about that logically for a moment. But she has quite an extensive history of fentanyl abuse documented in the media. So then I presume that something must have transpired in her household. She was reported to the police, or the police came, let's just put it that way. And for some reason, she was arrested. I'm presuming something must have transpired. They take her to jail. And in jail, she starts hurting herself, hitting her head on the wall. We don't get the audio. I would think in her drunken state, she's probably not being very compliant. It appears that way anyways from the video. So to protect her as they do, not that I'm saying this is great strokes by any, she shouldn't even be there. Why do we have drug problems and alcohol problems? But this is the way, okay? So they put her in a chair to protect her. Well, suddenly it turns into, you know, if you're going to testify against your abuser, the police are going to beat you up, come to your house and beat you up. Really? Then you have the question that's posed to Premier McNeil at the COVID briefing. And he goes on about how terrible this is. And he starts crying. And he said this is one of the worst issues he's ever had to deal with, is the domestic violence. And I'm thinking to myself, well, you have 23 unsolved homicides, the biggest mass murder in Canadian history. That's relatively important. Not that domestic violence isn't. But you sew it up, and now Lisa? Well, you think they're going to pull that one out? I don't think I can testify. I'm afraid. You might beat me up. She who's charged with her brother and brother-in-law. Because, of course, they don't defend her at all, and they're running around purchasing ammunition. All of them. Excuse me? For an abuser? Men? No. If they're good brothers, I would think that, frankly, they're going to go down there and give him a good pummeling if he's that bad. Got a little bit more clarification on one of the reports. Oh, by the way, on that note, I'm going to sew something out there. This is for Brenda. I know about the hot tub parties. I know about them. I know what was going on at the hot tub parties. So before you keep pushing it, all of you over there, you better step back. I'll just leave it there. How's that? I think that's kind. I think that's respectful. You want to keep lobbing it? I got more. Lots more. This is freaky, folks. Freaky. The O drives is freaky. I smell suppression of evidence. Why don't we look somewhere else? Something rather interesting. I'll put this out there just for the breadcrumbs. I like to leave breadcrumbs. Okay. Sometimes I don't like to say things. Now, lots of times. Most people would say I speak rather cryptically. Victim destruction of evidence. What's this here? Robert Pickton, who's exhausted his appeals, to the best of my knowledge, speaks in court to oppose the destruction of RCMP exhibits. The RCMP want to start disposing of many thousands of exhibits seized during investigation of the serial killer. Excuse me? Oh, it's because they don't want to spend money, is their claim. My question is, who the fuck's money are you spending? It's mine. Yours. Everybody over here. The 23. Frankly, there might be a reason that he doesn't want it destroyed. Why would that be? He doesn't have any reason to keep it for himself, right? Does he? He doesn't have any appeals left. Again, I'm not exonerating clowns and shitbags because, frankly, our world doesn't need them. But maybe there's a bit more to this. Quite a bit more. Wally Opal. This is so extensive in terms of the bearing of information, the destruction of your owned property, because it becomes public property, right? I think, frankly, most people would like to find the bottom of that hole. I would. I know all the women out there, families would. You know, like the unidentified male DNA. What is it? In excess of 50 samples? Oh, perhaps the RCMP may be hiding something more. Is it always as simple as it looks? I don't think so. Please help me to get the message out. It's really important. I take it personally. And this is a friend of mine, family. And frankly, even if it wasn't. I take it personally, real personally, because we all should. This time of being desensitized to crap, shit behavior, completely immoral, degenerate, disgusting behavior needs to stop. The dishonesty needs to stop immediately. It's prevalent in our society. Fear needs to be demolished. I want kids in my life to grow up in a good world, and I know all of you do too. And that's why you're there, and that's why you're working hard. That's why I know you'll continue to push the story. You'll continue to talk with your friends about it. You'll continue to let them know what's going on. And that you shouldn't ever leave this one alone, because it could be their kids. All of our kids. Our sisters, our brothers, our fathers. Our mothers. It's got to stop, people. And our very own police force, so to speak, is working against us. And has been. What was it Heafy said? Sorry? This isn't news to me, right? I mean, I talked about this a long time ago, but many of you have joined for the first time, and I welcome you. For a long time, 10 years at least, back when Zacharaldi was the commissioner. But it existed for sure. I may be long-winded. I may be. But I'll tell you, I sure as hell do a lot of reading. And I know a lot of you do too. This is my day, all day, every day. And one day, I will get the truth. Because I'm not going to stop fighting. When I hear of trying to discuss with a family victim member, a victim's family member this morning, and we're talking, and I'm asking for some help because I hate disturbing people. I really do. I really do. I don't talk to a lot of people. And I like to just kind of sit in the background. I'd prefer to go there, out to the ranch. But this is too important to leave. When I'm talking to them and they're out trying to have a good life, to pick up the pieces, to celebrate an event that should be happy, and they're getting emergency alerts as I'm on the phone with them. Just hold on a second, Seamus. Just hold on. Oh my God. Oh my God. The terror. The terror. Myself as a man wants to stand and be there for them. And I can't. I can't. And it's real hard. Feeling like you can't do something. I want to encourage you, please, to share information to share information with the people listed below. The contact information is below. We are here. I'm here 24/7. I don't stop. And I know none of you do either. Maybe other people take breaks and things. But you're all pulling weight. Amazing. And we can't have segregated data. We cannot have segregated data. The people that are all going through this need to work together. Well, tell him and don't tell him or whatever. If we're into that fuck nonsense, we're screwed. They like it. There are family members in here watching. More of you are coming forward. I will not disturb you because that's not my way. I feel like you've already been through enough. It's our duty to help you. But if you have something, and you do, because anybody who has information, even the smallest tidbit, it helps. When you're dealing with this fucking nonsense, are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? What kind of system are we fighting? I'd give you the fucking Sharpie. What kind of people fight themselves? Go stand out in the yard and beat yourself. See how much you like it. Your employees are doing that. Shitbag employees that rip their own members off. Rip them off. Steal their money. Subject them to abuse. An abusive environment. One that has traumatized so many members. Don't get any notifications. Well, that's a surprise. Thank you, Concan, for joining us. Thank you for all of the family members here. And there are. It's not just one. Thank you, Steve, for taking his Saturday off. Going meeting with people. It was really helpful. Learned a lot. That's his Saturday. So like it's all your Saturdays. Why? Excuse me? About a dead man? I think Andrew summed that up fairly quickly. Do we need it in a wrapped with a pretty bow? He's dead. Oh, sorry, Andrew. You're not allowed to come to the next press conference. You're banned. We decide that. Who decides that? I decide that. You decide that. We have the power, not them. I respect law. Awful lot. Maybe I wasn't the best in my earlier days. But I come from a family that certainly does. and I do now. And frankly, back then, you should have been busting and kicking my ass too. And I expected it because that's responsibility. This is so big, so vast. Not about a dead guy. One dead guy. Get out of here. Think about it. Logic. All logic. O'Dear puts the logic together so well in her videos. Working tough, hard. Just like Steve. Just like Adrian. Just like Tara. Just like Kage. Just like all of you. This is a team. A team. And there's not only just these people. There are people who aren't on here. Because they want to be quiet. But they're pulling. This is a team. We all have to work together as a team. Not some over here, not some over there. Team. You have data? Share it. That's the way it's going to work. There are people in this story. And the system. And the tech is against us. And that's not tinfoil. That's fucking true. It doesn't mean nothing. Bring it on. I do hope that you have a fantastic day. My heart and prayers, obviously, prayers go out to all of you down there. Subjected to more trash. Let's clean it up, people. We can do this one together. God bless.